The 2025 NFL trade deadline has shaken up the fantasy football landscape. We'll break down the biggest winners and losers from all the movement. That's right, it's a brand new episode of the IBT podcast coming right at you.
I've been going dummy, out of bounds, putting on a clinic. Stick around, carrots in my hardware. KC, caught him in the crosshair. Look at me, been the guy calling Mr. MVP. Keep your ass on the bench by my MPC. Earn my stripes like I fix this league. Your dog's on the turf, my dog's in the street. You can find me somewhere in between. Never a dull moment like a movie scene. About to do the ops like I did this beat. Let them keep talking, RG3. Coming to you live. This is the In Between Fantasy Football Podcast.
All right, and welcome into the In Between Fantasy Football Podcast, your place for both a refreshing and feel-good take on fantasy football and NFL gambling. It's NFL trade deadline day, and we didn't see all the shifting and shaking I think you're hoping for, but we certainly saw some wheeling and dealing that may move the needle in fantasy football leagues. We'll certainly chat all about that tonight on the program. We also have feel-good headlines from around the football world and good news coming your way, as well as our NFL Week 10 betting cards and touchdown calls. I'm your host, Seth Woolcock, keeping it moving after a fantastic weekend of football for what games I could actually watch, that is. And tonight I'm joined by the lads, of course, including a man who is arguably the guy with the sickest head of hair on the IBT staff. He's our wild card here at IBT, bringing you everything from NFL, PGA, and entertainment picks. He's Hot Take Jake Perry. Jake, how are you today, and how was your Halloween weekend?
Oh, it was good. I got a haircut today, so even though, it's still nice and flowy, just had to get it cleaned up a little bit. Halloween was nice and chill until it started pouring on our trick-or-treaters, which was fine by me because I got to watch the World Series game and go to bed early, which is the first time I could say I've been able to do that on Halloween since I was about 14 years old.
Hey, man, that is when you know you're winning at life, right? No BS, nothing late night, and we're just sitting there with sports, maybe a couple animals, maybe a little fire, maybe a little whiskey and Coke, and enjoying the evening. So
yeah, it's our house's thing, and everybody in our neighborhood knows it at this point. We give out hot apple cider to the parents on Halloween. Nice. And then we get some beverages to spike that a little bit. We definitely had some repeat customers coming back for a Rico, so.
All right, man. Like to hear. And we're also joined by a man who has been early on a couple players this year, including Alec Pierce, Kyle Monangai, just two of the latest Steve Lawson findings. He's always sniffing out those values every single week because he's Boston's boy. Steven, how are you? How was your week 9? Hopefully more tricks than treats this past weekend, my friend.
Oh man, you know what? It was Halloween this past week, and that is my favorite time of year. So now I'm kind of going through that hangover, that depression that hits. I know everyone's like, "Oh, it's the Christmas season or the Thanksgiving season." I'm like, "Listen, I'm already prepping for next year."
Yeah.
Right? Like I do it big on Halloween. I'm getting ready for next year. It was definitely more treats than tricks this year, which was nice. Not in the gambling world though. I kind of swung and missed a bit this week, but more to come on that. I'm feeling good this week, though.
Okay. All right. Well, glad to hear it. And as always, before we jump into the program, shout out to everyone who is tuning in live with us. We see you. We appreciate it. Easiest free way to support us. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this type of content. Also, make sure you're subscribing to the channel if you're new. And if you want more of us, please consider joining the IBT football family. That is our premium community that gives you access to our full betting cards, the Discord chat with myself, Steve, Jake, Eric, all our amazing analysts here, and friends of IBT. Also, you're going to get access into our memorabilia giveaways, which certainly overdue for one. Hopefully, you can get one going on very soon. We just had a NASCAR giveaway over in the IBT Racing family this past week. You're also going to get entry into the touchdown contest. And that is a very cool thing that we do every single week. We pick our touchdowns, and if you win that, you win yourself a plaque from Dynasty Decks. This is all just $3.99 per month or $36 for the year. You're also going to get access to the NASCAR family and the betting model, which we had a great season over there on the back road in the NASCAR family. About 65 units up for the season if you're tailing. So a lot of good stuff coming there. More sports, more interactive leagues coming for you next year. The link is in the episode description. Also, I wanted to shout out our presenting sponsor of the episode, PropDecks, a platform reimagining fantasy sports with prop-based lineups. That's right. Just set your lineup by choosing players from a live pool. No drafts, no season-long commitments, and we know how those are right now, guys, with all the injuries going down. Next, pick your props ranging from safe to bold by selecting presets and customizing your picks for maximum points and control. The harder the prop, the more fantasy points you can actually earn. Then just sit back and let your players do the work and watch your totals climb. You can play for free in the play for free entering contests on PropDecks. You can win gift cards to major apparel brands, custom merch, and much, much more. Or you could also jump into community-hosted games with friends, private groups, or other online players. So stack your props, score big, and own Sundays now by downloading the PropDecks app today from the iOS App Store. The link to that also going to be in the episode description. And Jake, I believe you were around to meet the guys over at PropDecks at the Fantasy Football Expo. Always a great time over there. And I know we've all been enjoying interacting with them and taking a new spin on gambling, fantasy, combining the two, because that's what we like to do here, my friend.
Yeah, anytime you can, it's a new, like you said, it's a new idea to market. So being able to do this, the things that we love in a new, unique way has always been one of the more exciting things for me. So yeah, it was awesome meeting the team over there during the expo, and yeah, having some fun with it for sure.
Let's shout them out one more time. That's PropDecks. Make sure you guys are checking them out. Link in the episode description. Go play for free right now. You're going to be glad you did. Hoping to do maybe like an IBT tournament for the playoffs too. So keep in store for that. Want to have some stuff going on with you guys there. And let's go ahead and jump right into the program, not waste any more time, and jump into some headline hijinks to react to the NFL trade deadline. All right. It was an NFL trade deadline too. Kind of, sort of remember, but either way, we did have some receivers on the move that we should discuss. And I want to start with the Las Vegas Raiders. They trade wide receiver Jakobi Meyers to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 2026 4th and 6th round pick. This obviously is a big impact play for the Jaguars because we have Brian Thomas Jr. shaken up in last week's game. We also had Travis Hunter. Devastation. I was drinking the bleach. I was feeling it on Friday. Trade for him everywhere a couple weeks ago. Lands on IR with the non-contact knee injury. We know it's not an ACL. We don't know the severity of it, though. So, Jake, what was your headline here for the Jaguars acquiring a new wide receiver in Jakobi Meyers?
Yeah, this one's set up too easily for me. It's from Jag to the Jags. Jakobi Meyers long been referred to as a Jag. For those who don't know what that acronym means, it means just a guy. He's a guy who has earned targets at a pretty solid pace for the first part of his career. Really couldn't find the end zone, started to put things together, had a couple back-to-back wide receiver 2 seasons. And then this year, it's a combination of things, wanting to be traded, not wanting to be there anymore, some injury. Just has not been the year that Jakobi Meyers has been hoping for. But I think skies are looking up for Jakobi from here. Specifically, when we still look at what he's been able to do this year, he was still pulling the 25th highest target share amongst wide receivers in football, 6th most snaps out of the slot, can be on the field pretty much the entire time when healthy, nearly a 94% snap share. But the real big thing is he's just going to an offense that is functioning more effectively than the Vegas offense has been. More importantly, as a pass catcher, he's going to an offense that throws the ball a lot more. Jacksonville's 4th in football in pass attempts per game. Comparing that to Las Vegas, which was 24th, even just straight volume, the team's throwing the ball 6 times more per game. Over the last 3 weeks for Jacksonville, they've been throwing the ball 41 times a game to Las Vegas 26. So even just pure, what he's shown us in his ability to earn targets, he's a 20 to 25% target share guy going into an offense where his only real competition for catching passes right now is Brian Thomas Jr., who's been underwhelming to say the least this year. So I think skies are looking up for Jakobi, and hopefully he can shake that Jag narrative for the rest of the year.
Where do you have him rest of season? Do you think he's still kind of in that wide receiver 3 mix, probably, 30 to 36 in that range? What do you think, Jake?
Yeah. He's still for sure like wide receiver 3 flex area for me. Need to see how he kind of assimilates into the offense. If he does just kind of step right into that slot wide receiver role that we saw Parker Washington kind of take over this past week with Travis Hunter going out, and they keep Brian Thomas as your standard outside guy, I think he could, start to push fringe wide receiver 2 area, but he's a comfortable start now versus, the last, he started the season hot, but then after that, it was like the guy being in your lineup was not great to say the least.
Steve, how do you feel about someone like Parker Washington? He was certainly someone that we're all excited about coming off this pretty nice performance. He's a former Penn State wideout, really played a lot of special teams early on in his career here in the NFL, but has since shifted to a bigger role, like Jake said, playing that slot, though, where we would anticipate probably Jakobi Meyers going into if Brian Thomas does come back to run the X there.
Yeah, I wasn't huge on Parker Washington to begin with. He never has made the most out of the opportunities that he was given. It's usually like he's gotten like double-digit targets multiple times now, and it's always kind of been middling success, usually a sub 50% catch rate in those games as well. But yeah, this spells kind of the end of Parker Washington, the slot guy. Maybe he moves outside on occasion or spells Jakobi Meyers on occasion. But this is a move that I really love for Jakobi Meyers. What I don't love about this right now is that we went from Jag to Jags rather than Meyers says buyers to like as the headline. I just feel like that was a layup.
That's good.
But I think
I was going to try for a Michael Myers reference. It just wasn't working in my head. It was too early when I was trying to put this together. I'd have gotten there.
That's fair. But like, I think Jakobi Meyers really slots in and fits really well with this team. And I think it's something that Trevor Lawrence needs more than anything else, right? Like Jakobi Myers, he wasn't great in Vegas, but when you don't want to be somewhere and Geno Smith can't complete a pass beyond to anyone other than Brock Bowers, it seems like it's hard to pull off anything there. Jakobi Meyers is a sure-handed, route technician, right? And that is something that is lacking so bad in Jacksonville right now. You think of the guys that are on that roster: Parker Washington, De'Ami Brown, Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter. Not one of them would you ever put in the conversation as a route technician, right? Sure, non-existent on that team, right? We know Brian Thomas Jr. has suddenly developed a weird case of either the yips or alligator arms and has a real fear of going over the middle. Jakobi Meyers thrives over the middle of the field. He is not an outside the numbers kind of receiver. He is going to get you those yards, those tough yards that you need to have someone do. And honestly, Brenton Strange was really that guy for the Jags before he got hurt. A chain mover. This is a chain mover. This is who keeps you on schedule. So having a Jakobi Meyers is key to the offense in Jacksonville.
Okay. I want to talk about the Raiders as well and what this means for them because behind him out there in Las Vegas, it's obviously going to be Trey Tucker, who's kind of operating a lot as the one this season as well, mostly playing on the outside, but was shifting into the slot as well. And Jakobi Meyers, I mean, he was seeing somewhere between 80 and 90% of snaps. So now this potentially brings up, okay, do we see a little bit more Jack Besh? Do we see potentially Dante Thornton Jr.? Thornton hasn't been out there the last 2 weeks. Jack Besh, 0% of snaps. We actually saw Tyler Lockett come right in off the street from Tennessee and play 30% of snaps. So, Jake, is there any one worth a pickup, even a speculative ad out there in Las Vegas right now? As it sits, Dante Thornton, 19 targets on the season, but just 5 receptions for him. Jack Besh, 10 targets, has made the most of them, those 7 receptions for 73. Can one of these rookies maybe pop off here down the stretch, or is it like old man Tyler Lockett out there running ghost routes?
I think it's old man Tyler Lockett. We can't ignore Lockett. I mean, he came here for a reason, right? He's got that familiarity with Geno. He's got that familiarity with Pete Carroll. And he truly is the one, like if you trust the Raiders depth chart, he was always the backup to Jakobi Meyers, as soon as he signed with the roster, he immediately slotted in as the guy behind him to kind of fill his role. That's what I always look for when looking for players who are replacing somebody who leaves a team or is injured. It's not always the next best receiver on the roster. It's sometimes just the guy who gets the role because the role is valuable. I'm not saying Tyler Lockett is what Jakobi Meyers was by any means, but Jakobi Meyers was getting a 33% first read target share in that offense. Again, not the route runner that he is, but that's clearly that role is built to be one of the first reads in that offense other than Brock Bowers. And I think Trey Tucker has some upside. I would prefer Besh to Dante Thornton personally, but I just don't, I honestly don't want to add anybody here unless I'm like truly desperate. Like I admittedly am on a few rosters this year.
Rest of season for you, Steve, Trey Tucker or Jakobi Meyers?
Jakobi Meyers, I think.
That's close. It's close.
It's
so
close.
I honestly am going to go out and see if I can
Tucker's,
try to get some Tucker.
It's Tucker's big playability that really, like, what you're chasing is like he will have the bigger games.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the floor versus ceiling.
Floor is Jakobi Meyers.
Yeah. Good point.
And like, I don't know, they'll both be frustrating in their own way.
Okay, let's go to the next headline here where we had quite a bit of a shakeup in the Pacific Northwest. We had Rashid Shahid, the Seattle Seahawks, acquiring him from the New Orleans Saints for a 2026 fourth and a fifth round pick. So a pretty good haul there for Rashid Shahid when you consider that we've seen other veteran wide receivers, older ones, more on the back half of their career go for fifth, sometimes seventh round picks. So Steve, what is your headline here for our friend Rashid Shahid joining Sam Darnold and Kubiak and company up there in Seattle?
Yeah, Rashid is Shahiding up north. It's leaving the bayou, heading to the Pacific Northwest. This is an interesting one, right? Because it doesn't really make sense to me. This is an offense that, I mean, on paper, yes, like you want a Rashid Shahid type player in this offense. The problem is they have a lot of them. Air yards, average depth of the target here. Let me just read these out for you. Ready? Torrey Horton at 15.3, Jaxon Smith-Njigba at 12.5, Cody White at 12.5. Like Elijah Arroyo comes in next at 7.5. This is a field stretching offense. Kubiak loves a good field stretching. My curiosity really comes in. Rashid Shahid is doing exactly what Torrey Horton is doing.
Right.
And Torrey Horton is a young player coming on strong, and all of a sudden they're going to do what with him? Are they just going to run 3 verticals and be like, one of these guys will be faster than the guy covering them? Like, thoughts and prayers, here we go? I don't understand what the thought process is here. This doesn't make the offense more dynamic, I don't think. And I think that's really where Seattle has fallen into trouble on the offensive side, is who is going to open up the offense for the run game, right? Because no one's doing it great because Jaxon Smith-Njigba is doing so well, but you run that shell now and you don't have a possession guy, right? Cooper Kupp isn't getting it done anymore. He just isn't. And
hurt now,
I would have expected, and he's hurt now too. I would have expected, frankly, Jakobi Meyers to go to the Seahawks. I think that would have been a better fit. Like, Shaheed is nice, but at this point, it's kind of putting a hat on a hat. This is a deep target guy on a deep target team with 3 deep target guys on it already.
It's interesting because we saw what Kubiak did last time with Shaheed, right? Last year in the Saints, when we were all like 4 weeks in, buckle up, get your New Orleans Saints future tickets ready. And so I think that's part of the thought process here. And I do agree that JSN, while the ADOT has been high, he still is getting some of that underneath, quick screen work. Let's get him in design touches. And I think maybe we see Shaheed a little bit in that. But Jake, do you think this will push Torrey Horton out of the 3 wide receiver sets? Does this push Cooper Kupp out of the 3 wide receiver sets? Who's running out of the slot here? Like, how do you think this shakes out? Maybe not production wise, but at least schematically.
Yeah. So I think on paper, honestly, I think we do see Torrey Horton kind of take over what Cooper Kupp's role was. Horton, we have to remember, Horton's college profile was that he was a solid intermediate route runner who could play on the right side of the field and occasionally move into the slot. So he's the guy who most closely can kind of fit what Cooper Kupp was doing. Given what Cooper Kupp's injury is, it's the same kind of heel hamstring combo issue that he's had in the past. And it is when this has arisen for him before, it puts him basically in almost entirely out of commission. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him for most of the rest of the year, maybe until more of the playoff push time. But I don't want to say that Shaheed goes into the slot, but he's already playing 40% of his routes out of the slot in New Orleans too.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's unfamiliar with the position either. I think this just gives you the ability to kind of create more of those mismatches, create more unique looking plays where it's not just obvious, like, all right, I guess we're just going to throw a slant to JSN again. All right, we're going to throw a hook to JSN again. I think it just gives them something they don't have in terms of that just kind of proven veteran skill set that I do feel they are lacking a bit. When JSN's your most kind of storied receiver on the roster, you definitely can use, I don't want to call him a scrappy veteran, but more of a veteran presence than a guy like Shaheed.
My concern fantasy wise would be that JSN fills the slot role.
I don't think you change anything you're doing with JSN. This doesn't move the needle at all if I'm a JSN manager, I don't think.
Yeah, Kupp's been out since week 7 too. So it's not like, I don't think it changes much in the offense, honestly.
Yeah. Are you interested in rostering any, like, is Shaheed still like up winner or loser for Shaheed?
Lateral.
Yeah, I would say a push.
Maybe a little bit of a bump because Sam Darnold's actually a pretty elite deep ball thrower.
He hasn't been bad, man. For everyone who wanted to freaking crap on him all year, it feels like Sam Darnold's been pretty freaking nice. Wide receiver 26 right now overall on the season is Shaheed. If you go points per game, it obviously goes down quite a bit to wide receiver 38. So he's been fine. Like, so is that like wide receiver 38-ish? Is that kind of where you guys have him probably rest of the season?
Yeah, probably a little higher.
I'm going to keep him the same just because we're getting kind of the inverse of what I was talking about with Jakobi Meyers switching teams. Shaheed is going from a team that's throwing the ball 39 times a game to a team in Seattle that's throwing it 29 times a game. So just general pass volume is down there. He's going to need those big plays to be consistent as a performer. In general, I don't love big boom bust guys like Shaheed in my lineup anyway, unless it's like a bye week fill in flex play type thing. So yeah, I'm pretty neutral on him in terms of where I had him before to where I have him now, which is that fringe kind of wide receiver 4 flex area.
Okay. And a couple names here. Would you rather the original Rashid Shahid, Jameson Williams, or Rashid Shahid?
Rashid Shahid.
I'd probably go Williams. I think they'll be more creative with him than Kubiak's offense will be.
Tucker Kraft out for the season. Romeo Doubs right now. Would you rather have him or Rashid Shahid?
Yeah, absolutely. Doubs.
Okay. Troy Franklin or Shaheed?
Shaheed.
Franklin.
I think I would take Franklin too. Yeah. DJ Moore or Shaheed?
Shaheed.
DJ Moore. Bears bias is kicking in a little bit.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I can't believe I've just said that out loud. I feel gross.
Yeah, it's one of those things like a year ago.
That's where we are, right? Like let's be honest.
Oh, it's awful.
Hey, man, DJ Moore just threw a touchdown last week, okay? Give that man his flowers.
And ran one too, yeah. So I know we're not doing buy sells this week, but like buy or sell DJ Moore. I think that's like pretty consensus, yeah. So are we dropping then Horton and Kupp?
I'm dropping Kupp, yeah.
I'm dropping Kupp too. I'll hold Horton for now.
Horton's getting a whopping 10% target share. It's probably safe to drop him.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Last trade deadline news here we have coming up in New York. Indianapolis Colts send wide receiver Adonai Mitchell and 2 first-round picks to the New York Jets for cornerback Sauce Gardner. Obviously, this is like big for Daniel Jones's dynasty outlook. I think he's the biggest winner here from a fantasy football perspective, just because, hey, like this is saying we're investing in this team. We're going all in. We think Danny Dimes is going to be the guy. Maybe this signals an extension coming his way, potentially in the next few months as well. But from a fantasy football lens, we also have Jets trading defensive tackle Quinnen Williams for a 2027 first-round pick, a 2026 second-round pick, and defensive tackle Mozzie Smith. He was a 2026 or 2023, 26 overall pick from the Cowboys there. So right now, I think Sauce is obviously like gonna help the Colts, but I think from a fantasy lens, like Breece Hall, I would say like when it looks like who's the loser, it's probably Breece. Am I right on that? Like he's the guy who's staying put. Isaiah Davis was another guy we were all hoping could maybe take some work here if Breece Hall were to be on the move. His upside's now capped. I don't know what happens to Breece here. Like probably just less motivated. Maybe someone who mysteriously makes a business decision or picks up a mysterious injury down the stretch. So Davis probably still worth holding. For us, like as a company, kind of sucks. Like we got a bunch of, as the headline here, more Frisky Jets t-shirts than we know what to do with. Like we made these Frisky Jets t-shirts a couple years ago. Had number 5 for Garrett Wilson. Also had Breece Hall's number 20. Had the Sauce Gardner number 1. We didn't sell a bunch of t-shirts when we made them. I don't think we're going to sell a bunch of them now, boys. So if
I
you
don't
guys
know. I think we actually might be able to sell those just for the novelty of them.
Okay, like you think they actually went up in value because like it's
I think
no
they may have
longer...
gone up in value because it's such a joke
Okay.
how bad the Jets are right now that
I was going to say, I feel like from the fan sentiment that I've seen, they're actually happy that they're selling and just not trying to middle in mediocrity.
Even though
so
they're
people
like
might be
they're two
feeling
best
frisky.
players, though. Even though
honestly though, here's what this signals, right? Number one, if people are saying it was a mistake to trade Quentin Williams, do you think, because Quentin Williams has 2 years left in his prime, essentially he's about 29 years old right now. Do you think the Jets are 2 years away from being Super Bowl contenders?
No.
Then it's time for him to go. Number 2, cornerbacks, historically, you are the best cornerback in the league for about a season or 2 if you're the best.
And Sauce has even not really progressed.
And
He's
Sauce,
even kind of middled out.
has regressed, right? And they got two first
rounds, yeah.
Now listen, one of them is this year, I believe.
Yeah.
The other one's next year. And if I'm the GM, I'll take that bet that Daniel Jones turns into a pumpkin next season.
Yep.
Well, and they also have the fact that, hey, now they have leverage to go out there because they might have the first overall pick or pretty like them or the Saints, right? And it's going to be a race to, hey, can we get up there to get Mendoza? Can we get Ty Simpson? Can we get more out of Oregon? That's kind of what we're looking at.
Draft Ty Simpson. I can't. The poor Jets fans. I'm a Patriot. Not a Patriots fan, but I'm from Boston. Obviously,
I like Ty Simpson. I think he's got a cannon on him. I don't know how.
Yeah, but the Jets don't need another cannon. They don't need another cannon. They need a quarterback. Like they need a guy who can read a defense, right? Like this is not the year to go get a quarterback in the college football ranks.
Looking here, I do mostly agree with you there. Looking at Breece Hall, like rest of season. I think we are all kind of holding on to the fact that maybe he gets traded out of here and gets better. Like, let me throw out a couple names for you. Breece Hall or Quinshon Judkins?
Hall.
Dowdle or Hall? I'll take Dowdle.
I'll take Dowdle.
Jalen Warren or Hall?
Hall.
Breece.
ETN.
Hall.
ETN.
I guess we don't have to probably go here, but Bucky Irving?
Hall.
Breece. Yeah. I just
Okay. So pretty much we're still thinking him as a low-end RB1, high-end RB2, right? Like that's kind of where he's been all season.
Listen, they still have to throw to someone. Like Garrett Wilson can't get 30 targets a game, although I guess Jamar Chase is proving that wrong. Apparently you could just do that and just spam a guy like into oblivion.
Yeah. Also fantasy implications here. I want to talk about AD Mitchell. Is he maybe someone that we could potentially want to stash? I think if you have to be in a position in your league of like safety where you have 2 losses, you maybe have 3 losses, you have maybe undefeated that you can stash him for later. But like, I think it might take this guy some time to pick up the playbook, just given we hadn't seen a ton from him out there in Indianapolis in a couple of years. But at the same time, like Garrett Wilson's banged up. Josh Reynolds is on IR now. It's pretty much they're running out Alan Lazard, who they did not want to play this season, Tyler Johnson, and Arian Smith, who I don't think can catch a cold, honestly, quite frankly. So, Jake, any like redraft value to Mitchell at all, you think, or no?
Yeah, it depends on what my roster looks like. If I've got the space, if I'm already stashing, like if you ask me, guy we just talked about, Torrey Horton or AD, I'd rather have AD. You get the opportunity that he steps into a role there. We know the guy can separate. He was 7th in average separation score from fantasy points last year.
Ago.
Like, the guy's got talent. He's the most talented wide receiver that's fully healthy on that roster. I mean, this is like best case scenario for him was getting out of Indianapolis because he was never going to get out of Shane Steichen's doghouse there.
No.
So if you have the roster space, if it's not going to hurt your depth or hurt your overall build to roster him, I don't hate it at all. It's more of a dynasty pickup for me than redraft, but it's worth the speculation.
Steve, are you still in on Garrett Wilson and Mason Taylor rest of season? Because for me, this says like, hey, the Jets just lost their 2 best defensive players, 2 of the best players on the team as a whole. They're going to have to throw an absolute crap ton. It's just whether that's going to be Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor under center. We're not certainly sure about.
Yeah, no, I'm in on them all the way. Like Garrett Wilson more so than anything else, right? Like Mason Taylor's going to be hot and cold. But Garrett Wilson, I wouldn't be shocked at this point if he averages 15 targets a game. Like, I mean, it could be a stupid number at this point because, yeah, like the Jets are like, you know what? This signals one of 2 things in New York. Either Aaron Glenn is being fired or Aaron Glenn is getting a very clean slate in this offseason, where it's going to be one or the other. So at this point, they're just going to be like, you know what? Do what you got to do, right? We don't care about interceptions. We don't care about winning games. We actually want the number 1 pick. So go out there and just play, right? Just do backyard football. I expect Garrett Wilson to probably average over 100 yards receiving a game, like for the rest of the season.
Whew, I mean, that'd be a high bar. That would be a high bar in this offense. But
it's not because the Jets offense is good. It's because there's nothing else they can do.
Yeah. I mean, I do think he's going to get a ton of volume, but what he can do with that volume has been the question all season. We got Ben checking in the chat. What's up, Ben? Great to see you. And we also have our friend Paragaiko asking here, trade Olave for Devonta Smith.
No.
I think this is a lateral or a negative move.
That's a negative now. His biggest competition just left town.
Yeah, Chris Olave is going to get a ton of Chris Olave, it's only him in this offense. Yeah.
He's already averaging almost 10 targets a game. He's wide receiver 16 in points per game. Like, there's no reason to move off Olave for a guy who at best is 2nd or 3rd fiddle in the offense, depending on how you feel about Saquon. Like,
yeah. Chris Olave or DK Metcalf rest of the season?
Olave.
Yeah. Olave.
Tedro McMillan. Olave. Okay, so you guys are in.
That's not a commentary on Tedro McMillan either.
Yeah,
but that's a real indictment of Bryce Young.
You're in like on a mid wide receiver 2 price tag then for Olave, pretty much rest of the way.
I would comfortably pay that. Yeah.
High end wide receiver 2, low end wide receiver 1 rest of season.
So is there an argument to make that Chris Olave was the biggest winner of the trade deadline then?
He was a huge winner. He was a massive winner.
I think he might have been. Like, honestly, like now that we put it in perspective, I think it might be Chris Olave. Garrett Wilson probably gets a little bit of a bump too, but I would say as far as like value wise, because before this, like we would say Olave was a mid wide receiver 2, and now he's like high end. So
fantasy wise, it's Olave. Real world implications, it's the Jets.
Overall, I think it may be Trevor Lawrence though.
So you like Lawrence and probably like, what are we talking about? Because he's been out there on every waiver wire. Are we talking like you need him roster rest of season, or is he still just a streamer, Jake?
I would heavily consider rostering him. He's probably still in streamer territory, but this is arguably the best route runner he has ever gotten to throw the football to.
Maybe like a young Christian Kirk before all the recent injuries.
Yeah. But I mean, T-Law's been trending up over,
QB 15 on the season overall, 17.4 points per game. So it hasn't been bad.
Since week 5,
streamer.
Yeah, since week 5, 27.2, 19.2, 17.6. This week, 22.2. Like, things are trending in the right direction, and he's getting a solid wide receiver added to that room. He might end up being, a top 10 fantasy quarterback by end of season if all goes well.
Yeah. Guys, I love the discussion here on the NFL trade deadline. And again, not all the moves that we wanted to see, like pour one out for a guy, Breece Hall, who's just like stuck in purgatory over there. Like, we need this guy out. Hopefully someone get in there and maybe break this guy out, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be this season as of now. So Guys, let's go ahead, though. Let's move forward in the show. We still have good news and our best bets coming your way. And let's start right there in the feel-good headlines of the week coming your way. All right, it's our feel-good headlines of the week. And let's start down there in the great city of Charlotte, where don't look now, but the Carolina Panthers, they are 5-4 after a big upset in Lambeau Field over the Packers. And the Panthers fans got to be feeling themselves right now, including one named Carolina Mike, who certainly has something to say about the Carolina Panthers' recent run. Let's hear from Carolina Mike right now.
What's up, y'all? I got a question. Y'all ready to support these Carolina Panthers as they keep pounding against these Green Bay Packers? Yeah. Also, if I had $150,000, I want you to know exactly what I would do, y'all.
What'd you do?
Check it out. Spend $150,000 on a football team. Wait a minute, that's not enough to buy a team. Spend $150,000 on a tricked out Porsche. Wait, what? Minnesota, it snows too much. Build me a tennis court outside my house, but the HOA's gonna make me tear it down. Might give me some Panthers season ticks. Just might get a tiny home in the sticks. I get some Reese's peanut butter cups. Heck no, I ain't sharing. I'ma eat them all up. Might give me a plane and fly to Spain. Except I don't even know how to fly a plane. Scratch that, I'ma get me a big old bus. One big enough for all of us to double dutch. Getting chased by turkeys as we cruise around. Windows down, now up so you can hear the sound. If you had $150,000.
Oh! Gentlemen, any thoughts here from how Panthers fans, including our friend Carolina Mike, is feeling right now?
That goes hard.
No, it doesn't.
Unk went in, and I am on Unk's side.
I
want $150,000 to spend on a Porsche that I can't drive because I also live in a winter climate area.
That was a lot.
I want them Reese's cups.
That was a lot. That was odd. That was uncomfortable. There was a lot going on there. I don't know. You know what? Yeah.
It's a no from you, dog?
It's a no from me, dog. Like that was not it. Like, yeah, that is.
Unk went in. I'm all the way.
Oh,
I need that.
watch.
I need a version of that song for the Bears ASAP Rocky. If you have musical talent, hit me up.
I love how this does look like a guy who just lives in a development. He's got like the khakkiest of the khakkiest shorts on too. Like he's got something in the background, like a frame he's trying to hang up. He didn't even get a chance to hang it up now because he just had to get in the lab and cut one up here. So I respect the hustle here, man. I respect the hustle here from our guy Carolina Mike. I think this guy is a gem. I think he needs to be protected at all costs. So if you see him out there in the streets, just be on the lookout for him. All right, well, I think that's enough good news for the week. So let's get into Between Bets and share what we've got cooking up in the lab for Week 10 of the NFL season.
Between bets. Between bets.
It's Between Bets. It's our Week 10 NFL betting cards. We're going to be going through our favorite ATS money line. Of course, some over-under total picks and player props, all for you, rounded out by our touchdown contest. And guys, let's first look back at how Week 9 treated us. Very frustrating on my end because 4 for 5 on player props, 1 for 2 on the touchdowns as well. Jamar Chase all of a sudden had some butterfingers in the end zone. Couldn't come down with that for me. That was a bummer. But at the same time, I missed the parlay of the week. And I also missed my biggest bet of the week, the one I had the most closing line value on. I took Rashid Rice over 6.5 receptions, plus 118 right here live with you last week on the show. And then by the time we turned around and got to Sunday, that baby was all the way down to minus 160. So thought that one would come through. That was the only one that didn't happen and come through. So, up a couple units on the week, but it could have been a monster week for me. Steve, how did it go for you in the betting streets?
Oh, it was brutal out here in the streets. This was a bad offensive week for the NFL. It was just ugly. It was a bunch of field goals. And when it comes to over-unders, and I love to bet the overs, that was not a fun situation to
No.
be in. The
No.
only game that I really like, I only bet a couple this week, thankfully. The Patriots got it done for me. Patriots-Falcons did. But that Broncos game, nope. That Packers game, nope. Like it was a rough week, dude. It was a rough week.
Yeah, absolutely. And you might get, some more of it this week because we have the Bengals on bye. We also have teams like the Dallas Cowboys on bye that can score
They didn't
points.
get it done either.
Well, yeah, usually they do. Usually they can score points. Usually they allow a lot of points. They did one of the two on Monday night, not the former of that. Jake Perry, how was it for you out there on the betting card front?
Yeah, pretty decent. I also missed on a Jamar Chase touchdown, so that one did sting over here as well. I did hit on the Bears money line. That was fun. Picked the Packers money line as well, just because it's kind of my rule. If I bet on my favorite team, I bet on my least favorite team to also win because it feels like the juju balances out. Well, it didn't. I mean, it did. They lost, but the Packers lost, but I lost my money too, so I don't really know how that one works. And honestly, I think my biggest hit of the week wasn't even a bet that I made. I helped my brother put together a little same game parlay. So we went Jonathan Taylor, I think it was over 110 total yards, Michael Pittman touchdown, and I want to say it was something dumb like Daniel Jones over rushing, I think something like, or longest completion, one of the two. But we hit for like I think final odds on it was like plus 670 or something.
Hey, I'll certainly take that. I was very close to a 5-1 gainer. I'm usually one not to even bet something that long, but the chips were falling, and excited to see what we can dial up here this week, gentlemen. And I want to start us out this week, and I'm going to an ATS play here, starting with the Carolina Panthers, -4.5, -115 at ESPN, bet against the Saints. And look, for me, like I haven't been playing a lot of ATS and sides here just because I've really wanted to figure out who these teams are. And I think I have a pretty good grasp of who these teams are, seeing the field pretty well with the Panthers right now. I grabbed this early. This is now moved from that 4.5 number up to 5 and even 5.5 at some books. And the Panthers right now, they're just running down people's throats right now, guys, with Rico, Dowdle, and it is working very well. They're sitting above 500 right now, 6-3 ATS as well. They also just beat the Packers in Lambeau Field, as we mentioned. And the Saints are a league worst 2-6 ATS. If you've been fading the Saints so far this season, it's been working for you in survivor pools. It's been working for you most of the time, ATS as well. And they are unable to stop the run right now. They have been getting gashed every which way about it. Tyler Shuck at quarterback. I think this maybe leads to some easy points for the Panthers, especially with how good they've been in Charlotte right now. 3-1 ATS this season. Their only not cover at home has been against the Bills. So I'm all in with the Carolina Panthers. It says gross to say that, but it feels right kind of in the moment as well. And Jake, you're sticking with the Cats, but going with a different predator.
Yeah, this one was simply seeing the line. Had to be a mistake placement or something, getting what I got, getting the Lions plus 1.5 versus the Commanders with the fact that Jaden Daniels dislocated his elbow and won't be playing quarterback for them for probably the rest of the season, if I had to guess. This line has already moved from its plus 1.5 open to -8 is kind of the best odds you can get for the Lions. So a 9.5 point swing in my favor. Just really no reason to not be all over this when you see that. When you see that kind of just, why is this line what it is? You can't pass up on it.
Yeah, you might be getting banned from DraftKings because I've seen these like faulty lines out there before in NASCAR, and I've bet them. And either A, sometimes they'll say, "Hey, this was a mistake put out by somebody," and they don't honor the line, or two, you end up with a ban notice. I have also seen that. So good luck to you either way on that one. Because they put out these lines on accident and people hammer down on it. And sometimes they're like, hey, you weren't supposed to do that. So
I didn't go crazy on it.
There must be a way to appeal that. That's
So,
not even fair. I feel like you could sue them into oblivion.
Hey,
rules,
these
rules
are
and conditions.
These are possible and current partners with us, so don't want to talk negatively about them, but it is just part of the process out there. I have seen it. So Detroit, I think, like, if you can get them anything, like, to me, under a touchdown favorite, that's where I like them. Like, I'll lay 6.5 points with them. I won't lay the 7 or the 8 or the 9.5 I'm seeing now, but to get them the other way was a blessing there from the gambling god. So Jake, thank you for putting us on that. And then also the money line plays, you have the New England Patriots here on a money line against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers down there in the land of the Scientologists.
Yeah, it just it's one of those things where I don't think either of these teams are as good as their records indicate. If you look at Tampa, they win a bunch of one-score games. They keep themselves close. Their defense hasn't really succeeded. The Patriots are beating up on bad teams as well. Not really, superstars by any means, but I mean, Drake May is looking like an absolute superstar. That dude is literally playing himself in MVP contention right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 21 total touchdowns between passing and rushing currently.
Wow.
Like, very, very solid pace from the kid out there. You've got Tampa still dealing with injuries. You're going to likely have no Chris Godwin, no Mike Evans, probably no Bucky Irving. It feels like a trap game. It feels like one of those where, like, even though Tampa's favorite, it feels like a trap, and it feels like I just should pick the Patriots here. Even though, like I said, I don't think either of these teams are as good as their records indicate.
It'd be a big statement from the Patriots, right? If they can go down there to Tampa Bay. And this is one of those, games on the schedule, Jake, you kind of mentioned it. The Patriots haven't played the toughest teams, right? They've played the Bills. They beat the Bills. They've had some really nice wins that they've pulled out, but it hasn't always been against the best competition. They're playing a last place schedule. It's just what happens, right?
Yep.
So this will be a big one. I think this would certainly change the tides in their favor, especially, maybe make Drake May that favorite that Steve has that 5-1 ticket on him that he placed last week, and really make that come through. So like those plays from you. Steve, let's go to the total picks with you. And man, you were on such a heater pretty much all season long, taking overs. And now we're at a point where, as I mentioned at the top here, two of the best teams for taking overs, the Bengals, the Cowboys, they're on bye. It feels like things are tightening up, getting a little gross out there, but you're still expecting some points in at least two specific places.
Yeah, and I'm going to start in maybe the grossest game just on paper. It's the Jets and the Browns. Listen, no one's there to stop the Browns from scoring right now. Not a soul is there to stop that from scoring. The Browns probably put up 28 points in this game just on their own. So all I'm asking out of the Jets is 10, right? Like, that's all I need them to do, and they will score more than that. I think this is a situation where Justin Fields may have found his confidence, right? Whether they start Taylor or not, I don't think they're going to, but Fields going into the bye has a massive game, gets them their first win.
Good point.
They're feeling good.
Fair.
Get the bye week, get a little bit more up to speed, implement more plays, get themselves going. They trade away a bunch of defensive players. They're like, go out there, play free, play loose. It doesn't matter. We're not winning anything anyway, right? This is a game that has a real chance to hit this over by halftime. This is going to be a mess. It's just going to be a mess. This ground game for the Browns, there's no one to stop them now. They're going to run right through where Quinnen Williams used to be.
Yeah.
The secondary, Dylan Gabriel is going to look way better than he has any right looking, unless Azaria Thomas, my Florida State guy, go Noles, steps up and becomes the guy that I think he is.
Shout
but
out.
I'm actually really excited for him to get a chance to be on the field more.
Okay. Love that. And also, you are in that Panthers game that I am, but instead of laying the points with the Cats, you are going to go and just, hey, let's see a little points from Tyler Shuck. Let's get a little Rico Dowdle in the end zone type of action here.
Yeah, again, 39.5. Like, anything under 40 in the NFL, I'm hammering the over. I don't care. Unless it's one of those ridiculous, like, Bills-Patriots games with the 70-mile-an-hour wind where you couldn't throw the ball more than 2 yards because it would blow away. You got to take the points here, especially if you think that minus 4.5 is going to be the line. That's a pretty big spread for a game that you're projecting both teams not to score a combined 20 points. Are you expecting a shutout from the Panthers? Like, this feels reactive to what they did to the Packers. I think the Packers played really bad rather than the Panthers played really well, frankly. I don't think this defense is all that good, and I don't think the Saints offense is all that terrible. Like, they'll be fine. They're not good, but they're not like get shut out bad, like not by the Panthers. So I'm not going to sit here and like be like, well, Tyler Shuck is awful and Bryce Young is awful. It's like, yeah, but so are the defenses they're playing against. They're not good. So I'll trust the play callers. They have 2 innovative play callers on as head coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I'll trust the offense.
Yeah, it's a fair point. I'm really interested to see who can step up there for the Saints. Is it Devin Neal in the backfield? They need some juice out of the running backs. Can Kamara get back in the fold? He wasn't moved at the deadline. Who's going to step up behind Chris Olave? Is it Taysom Hill? Can we get a little Taysom Hill action?
I think it's Jawan Johnson.
Is it Jawan Johnson?
I think it's Jawan Johnson.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, definitely some value to potentially be had there.
Tyler Shuck's former teammate, Jawan Johnson.
That's still such a crazy fact. I feel like Jawan Johnson's been in the league for 5 years.
Oh my gosh, that was before he was at Penn State, wasn't it? Oh my god,
he was on Oregon.
Wow. See, that's how long Tyler Shuck has been in college football, folks.
Tyler Shuck's older than you.
No, I think I'm older than Tyler Shuck, but not by a lot. Not by a lot.
26?
Yeah, I'm 27.
Oh, all right. Well, you're the same age.
Yeah. Hey.
Brandon Whedon.
Yeah, one of us is in the NFL, and one of us is
talking about the NFL,
hosting a fantasy football podcast. So, let's go to player props here. Where Jake, you can start us out with your first player prop of the night. You are taking us over to the great country of Germany. Have you been to Germany yet? And what is the play out there for a Guten Morgen?
Yep. Cannot say that I have been there. It is on the bucket list for me. But
I've been there in the Epcot Pavilion.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, if that counts, I've been there.
Did you German beers? What are we, big pretzels?
I did. I had a beer and I went to the caramel shop.
I was like 12. I definitely did not have a beer there.
I had a beer. One of the 4 beers I have a year.
Okay. All right.
There you go. But I'm going with Drake London over 70.5 receiving yards. You can get that at -110 via Fanatics Sportsbook. I mean, it's very clear that Drake London has stepped into his own in this offense. Looking over the last 4 games, he's beat this number 3 times. The one game he didn't beat it in was against the 49ers. That was just a terrible showing by the team. But this is a guy averaging 13 targets a game over the last 4 games. Like, the volume is strictly there. When he beats this number 2, he absolutely smashes it. You know, in those last 4 games, 110 yards, 118 yards, 158 yards. Like, this guy is the focal point of this offense. It's very clear they're letting Michael Penix kind of take his licks, learn how to play cornerback in the NFL, and just let him throw the ball a ton. And London has really, you know, I don't know if he wasn't 100% healthy, but he just looks more confident on the field than he did to start the season off. And I know he is coming off of, you know, a little bit of an injury, but I mean, you come back from a little bit of an injury and you go, you know, 14 targets, 9 receptions for basically 120 yards and 3 touchdowns. You got to be feeling pretty nicey.
Yeah, I like Drake London a lot this week. Sauce Gardner being out there, I mean, that definitely changes things a little bit, but who knows if he will see the full allotment of snaps from the first jump here. And at the same time, like Drake London, 5.5 receptions sitting out there too, which I don't hate either. So could be a big Drake London game. We know he's going to get the targets. It's just, can he come down and make them into production? We shall see. Another guy who I think is going to get the targets this week for me in the player props market is Trey Tucker. I'm going over on the receptions line. No Jakobi Meyers on Thursday Night Football. So there will certainly be some discrepancy, I think, in the markets on what you're getting offered here. Right now, I'm seeing the line at Hard Rock Bet at 3.5. I'm not available in that state to get that, so I can't get down on it now, or I would absolutely smash 3.5. It was 5.5 the last time we saw Jakobi Meyers out, so I probably wouldn't take 5.5, but if I can get a 4.5, even if it's an alt that I'm paying a little juice on, I would definitely go that way as well. Trey Tucker has hit this 3.5 line in 3 out of his last 4 games, including catching 5 of 6 targets with Meyers out in week 7. Also, at the same time, in the last 8 weeks, a wide receiver has crossed this mark against Denver with a team's wide receiver one averaging, just 8.9 targets, 4.8 receptions per game. So I really like what he could do here. Again, no Patrick Surtain out there for Denver on Thursday night. Instead, it'll be rookie out of Texas, Jahdae Barron, first round pick, but still a young pup. I'm also going to get down and dirty here with another one. We did it last week. We're going back to the well here with riding some gross tight ends. Colson Loveland did not, you guys know I was on him last week, but I did not expect quite that game. So I'm going to go with Dalton Schultz this week over on the receptions line. Been super consistent so far this season. He's hit his receiving yards prop in 6 of 8 games. The projected line of 3.5 in 5 out of 8 games. This includes an average of 5.3 receptions since week 3. Like, it's really Nico Collins and then it's Dalton Schultz there. They haven't found a consistency with Christian Kirk being in and out of the lineup. The rookies have not stepped up like we had hoped there as well. 1 week they do, 1 week they don't. I don't trust Xavier Hutchinson as far as I can throw him, which ain't very far, folks. So 8 targets last week with Davis Mills at quarterback. He might be under center once again without CJ Stroud. Also, great matchup for Dalton Schultz as well. Over the last month, Jacksonville has allowed the 4th most receptions, 3rd most receiving yards to opposing tight ends. Right now, I think Schultz should go over this game as he's done it, this prop in this game as he's done it 6 out of 8 times. So I like him to do it once again here and potentially do exactly what he did in week 3 when he faced the same team, 5 for 39. Also, give me a little little Justin Herbert on the passing yards. Steelers pass defense, absolute funnel lately. Their safeties are all banged up. They brought Kyle Duggar in right from you, Steve, and the Patriots plugged him right in and still has not helped him.
Yeah, because he's not good.
Yeah, well, that's I think why we got him for what we did. And right now, the Steelers, the most allowed passing yards per game over the past months, almost 317 yards per game. That includes 342 to Danny Dimes last week, 360 to Jordan Love the week before, 342 to Joe Flacco as well. So secondary right now, I think that it's just going to be too much, dude. Like, you can't stop Gadsden, you can't stop QJ, you can't stop Keenan Allen or Ladd. They're bad against slot wide receivers. They're bad against X's. They're bad against tight ends. The Chargers right now, they had 77 yards to running backs last week on the ground against Tennessee. A very plus matchup, by the way, in Tennessee. So I think the Lurs are going to stuff the run once again. They did it last week against Jonathan Taylor, 45 yards, 14 carries. So I think Justin Herbert's going to air it out on Sunday Night Football. Also, I was on the Panthers, so I'm also going to go on Rico Dowdle this week as well. Over on the rushing yards or attempts, the Panthers running down people's throats. It's working. 3rd most rush attempts per game this season as a whole are Carolina. Rico, 7th in carries, 3rd in rushing yards. Rico Dowdle, guess what his pace is right now, Steve? If you had to guess, what is Rico Dowdle's pace for rushing yards?
1,500.
Close, 1,400 yards right now. Rico Dowdle, like, that's where we're at, folks. Still 3rd in yards per touch and averaging 5.6 yards per carry, despite all this volume. Like, Carolina's rushing protection is real. I think right now he's going to continue to cross this attempts line and the yards mark that he has in 4 of his last 5 games. He now gets the Saints. They've allowed the most rushing attempts to opposing running backs, 30.5, the 4th most rushing yards as well, 130 per game over the past month. Tyler Shuck, I think he's going to stall out drives. I think Rico's going to have a lot of burn on the wick here. So honestly, like, I might even take like a stab at Chuba's rushing yards just because we've seen backup running backs, i.e. Blake Corum last week that I was on for the rushing attempts, also feast against the Saints. So there we go there for me. It's Rico Dowdle, Justin Herbert, it's Dalton Schultz, it's Trey Tucker, all on the overs. Jake on that Drake London over. And guys, let's take a look at the touchdown call leaderboard presented by our friends over there at Dynasty Decks. Win a sweet plaque. Remember the season that was if you won this. And look, it looks like maybe Trav might be the guy. Him and Rob tied at the top of the leaderboard. They've been there almost all dang season long. Someone's got to throw them off. Also coming in here at second is a tie between James, Steven, myself. Steve, who hit for you last week in touchdown call?
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Your arch nemesis. Your arch nemesis came through for you. I got 2 from Colston Loveland. Would have never thought that. I got 0 from Jamar Chase. That was sick. Eric and Jake Perry here tied at 10 apiece. Jake the Snake, who was the man of the hour for you last week?
That was my friend Michael Pittman Jr. with that crazy touchdown catch.
Yeah, and you were also on Chase as well, so you were probably bummed out that he couldn't come down with either one of those. He got just stopped short, and then another one right through his hand. So bummer to see that. Ben Siebert bringing up the rear here with Trash at 8 and 9 apiece. Let's get to the TD calls. And Steven, let's send it your way first. Who do you have this week, my friend?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I got two fun ones here. I got George Kittle. I'm a big respect guy to George Kittle. I think it's time that he gets into the end zone here. It's been a minute. This is a team that is looking for a number one. And I think it's so obvious that it's George Kittle. Juwan Jennings is a good player. George Kittle is a great player.
Yes.
And it's time for George Kittle to get into the end zone. But the one that I'm more sure about, I'm actually less sure about Kittle than I am about this next guy. Give me Romeo Doubs. The loss of Tucker Kraft is a massive boon for Romeo Doubs. I think this is going to be the guy that benefits the most. We saw him get double-digit targets in the last game. After Tucker Kraft went down, his usage went up. He's not a big guy, but he gets a lot of end zone targets. A lot of end zone reads go to Romeo Doubs already. Removing Tucker Kraft means more are going to go his way. I expect Jordan Love to really funnel a lot of targets to Romeo Doubs going forward.
Okay. I love those picks, man, honestly. And Romeo Doubs always a fun player to watch because you can see him real well with the big Guardian helmet out there.
Yeah, I really appreciate that I can always see where he is on the field.
Yes.
When Doubs gets the ball.
Yeah. That's why I love Travis Hunter, too, because he'd always wear like pink or orange or something crazy shoes. So you could really identify him quickly. And now Doubs might be that guy out there for us. So appreciate that. And Jake Perry, where are you going here in week number 10 for the touchdown call contest? You got to get on the plus side of the board. You were there the first couple of weeks and you slowly fell down.
I didn't miss, but I was 8 for 8 to start the year, and it's been a bit of a struggle fest since. And it's probably because I make picks like the ones I'm making today. I had my weeks mixed up, by the way. Rasheed Rice scored my touchdown this past week.
Okay.
I was thinking of 2 weeks ago for Pittman, but I'm going with Michael Pittman, getting him at plus 165 at bet 365. Just a guy that, again, I think he's a superstar. I think he's an underrated superstar. He's an elite
superstar.
He is an elite target earner, earns targets with better than your favorite wide receiver does for most of his career. And he's just super underappreciated in what he can offer to an offense. When I say he's a superstar, he's the superstar of the all underrated team. That's okay. Let me clarify this here. He is the most underrated wide receiver in football. So I got to go with my guy, Michael Pittman, using up my second use. But, when you're riding the heater's hot. We're sticking with it. I can see my boy Pittman getting in the end zone. And then I'm sticking with that exact same game. I'm going with Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes himself falling into the end zone. You can get that at plus 350 via bet 365. Again, I think it's just a situation where, if for whatever reason the run game isn't working with Jonathan Taylor at the goal line, or they're, say JT just broke a big run and they've got, somebody else in at running back, they need, that little bit of a spell. Jones has shown he'll pick up that dirty 1 yard. He also has that scrambling ability that we've seen throughout his career. It's probably an underappreciated part of his game. I think it's part of what's made him so good with the Colts is his ability to kind of play in his own space and, create his own opportunities. So I could certainly see him falling into the end zone this week as well. Maybe a couple times and help me catch up on the leaderboard a little bit. Dan.
Yeah. Plus 350, man. That would certainly pad the wallet as well. So I like that call there. I've had really good success this week this season, boys, with two positions. It's been tight ends and running backs. I didn't find a lot out there in the tight end streets this week, so I'm going to go to the running back and two guys that I've been on certainly a few times this season. First, James Cook, second use of the year. If they go to the Super Bowl, I might be hurting by the time we get there. But I'm going with James Cook, minus 160. It's something like I always like to put one that I'm also going to have on my personal betting card as well. James Cook is one of those. Minus 160, I feel like it's a really good number. That might be better when we see even more books released. So I'm going to jump on that as quickly as I can. Back to the well here with Cook. I think he's going to find pay dirt once again. He's done it in 5 of 8 games this season, 62.5% clip, 14 of 19 games last season, 73.7% clip. So I think there's a little bit of positive touchdown regression coming his way. He scored earlier this year against the Dolphins, just as a running back has in 4 of the 5 last games against the Fins. So James Cook to find pay dirt here once again. And give me a little Rico Dowdle touchdown as well. I talked about him earlier, so I don't need to go over a ton. All you got to know is the Saints have allowed a rushing touchdown in 3 straight weeks, 4 total, and a running back has found the end zone in 8 of 9 games this season. Why not Rico Dowdle? Why not this week, boys? Great stuff here tonight on the program. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This has been the In-Between Fantasy Football This has been the In-Between Fantasy Football Podcast. If you've rode along with us this long, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the entire channel as well. We've got fantasy football and NFL betting coverage for you. We also talk a little college football, NASCAR betting, PGA betting, entertainment betting, all to help you cash more and to enjoy the ride along the way. Also, be sure to check out inbetweenmedia.com for some dope written content from both Steven and Jake. Boys, anything else going on here in the next couple weeks that we should keep an eye out for on the IBT Media YouTube channel or the website from you guys?
Wicked Part 2 comes out, and we're going to be talking about it on Popcorn and Root Beer.
Okay, like to hear that.
Deep dive.
There you go. And Jake, I think you'll be back here in 2 weeks, Thanksgiving week for us. So
Yes,
appreciate that. For Hot Take, Jake Perry and Steven Lawson, I'm Seth Wilcock. Thank you all so much for watching. We will see you next time right here on the In Between Fantasy Football Podcast. Until then, keep it in between. Thank you.